Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles. Along with me, as always, my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, orator, and podcasting associate, Jacob Gloth. How you doing today, Jacob?
I am swell, Charles.
I'm good. Are you ready to pitch a brand new televisual series for our audience and myself to hear for the very first time?
I am. I'm excited. I've got another, I think, pretty cool idea. We're going back to the realm of children's cartoons.
Oh, you are loving the kiddie cartoons, aren't you?
Well, you know, it's kind of what I want to do, so it makes sense.
Yeah. You don't want to have cursing and violence in your cartoons. You want to have lessons.
Well, you know, you can have violence in a kid's cartoon.
Yeah, but not as good violence. Violence isn't as good.
You clearly didn't watch Regular Show.
I watched Regular Show. I enjoyed the violence in Regular Show.
Some good stuff in there. Adventure Time, some great violence in there.
Yeah.
You know, you can have great cartoon violence.
But there's no blood and guts. That's what I want. I want the blood and guts.
You split open a guy, he's made of freaking ice cream, and the ice cream squirts everywhere. That's pretty cool to me.
That's all right, you know. And I love a good Tom and Jerry. I love Bugs Bunny. You know me. I'm a big Bugs fan. I'm a bunny head.
Well, if you like bunnies, you might like this show, because I'm sort of doing a sort of Simpsons kind of cartoon.
Okay, a little satirical, little edgy.
Well, I meant like it's a family in a cartoon. The Hare family. Hare is an H-A-R-E bunny.
Ah, like a hare.
The show is called Flap and Box. Flap and Box.
Flap in Box or Flap in
and Box.
Okay, Flap and Box. Okay.
As in two different people, Flap and Box.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense now.
Yep. It's sort of a play because, you know, Flapjack's Jack in the Box, except I got rid of the Jack part.
Yeah.
Box.
Yeah, I guess.
Great time.
That makes sense.
I don't know. That's where their names came together. So the first character I've got for you here, his name is Charlie Hare. Charlie Hare is the youngest. He's, I don't know, somewhere between 4 and 6. Mm-hmm. He's a skateboarding, babbling furball who's often naked, very chaotic, and constantly ruins things innocently.
Okay.
Constantly very, very rambunctious child who's, you know, always kind of like, you know, but like, you know, Bart Simpson skateboarding, but like he's younger than that. More like, you know, kind of like Jack, I guess, from Incredibles.
Yeah, he's a mixture between Bart and the little one in The Simpsons. What's her name?
Yeah, Lisa. No, that's the girl.
No, Lisa's the older one. The littlest one is. She just sucks on stuff all day.
I don't know. It'll come to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Maggie.
That's Maggie. That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
Good. You got that. That would have been embarrassing if we didn't get that.
That would have been very embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. Next character we've got is Muggs Hare. He's the goofball dad. He's the Homer Simpsons type. He's very funny. Absolute fool. Constant victim of physical injury. And he works as a handyman, so physical injury is very constant in his job.
Yeah. He's probably fat, or at least chubby.
Mm-hmm. A little, you know, he's got a dad bod. He's not like a big, burly, buffy, or like a big, you know, round dude.
Yeah.
But he's certainly not. He's like Homer, you know.
Yeah, he's got a
little bit of a pudge to him.
Yeah.
Next, we got Ellie Hare. Ellie Hare is the mom. She's a helicopter mom, very concerned about her kids and possible injury. Works all the time at an office job that doesn't really make any sense. You know, it's like in an office, but there's like lights and lasers, and I don't really, you don't really know if she's like a scientist or she's like, you know, an accountant, or if she
works for HR. She does something for someone.
For an airline. Like, it's very confusing.
She has no idea. She might not even know at this point. Nobody does.
Mm-hmm. Nobody understands her job besides her. And when she starts explaining it, everyone falls asleep.
Ah, classic.
That little classic jab.
Yeah.
And she's always super tired, always like deep bags under her eyes, like she's done. Mm-hmm. Next, we've got Flap. Flap is the oldest of the kids. He's about 12. He's a very rambunctious schemer. He's always trying to make his life easier, when in reality, all he does is makes it harder. He's our sort of protagonist, as the show is called Flap and Box.
That makes sense.
Molly Hare, she's the middle child. She's 10. Very smart, but highly competitive to the point where she's dumb because she's so competitive. She cares so much about winning that it makes her do stupid things.
Okay, that's fun.
And she's always trying to do her homework, but is constantly bothered by Flap, who's off to, some crazy scheme or something.
He's off to go rob rob Buckingham Palace for the crown jewels, because that'll make writing his history assignment way easier, or something.
Yeah. They're the Hare family, by the way, so they're all rabbits.
They're all rabbit people. Yeah.
I imagine like the design is not like realistic rabbit kind of thing. It's more like maybe like the way the Amazing Gumball kind of looks, or Bugs Bunny kind of looks.
That's what I was
thinking.
thinking.
They look more humanoid.
Yeah.
Than rabbit.
They stand on their hind legs. They're they smoke. Yeah. They can smoke if they wanted to, but it's a kid's cartoon, and so they probably don't smoke.
Yeah, if they did smoke, it'd be like a candy cane or something.
Yeah.
If we did like a noir episode.
Oh, that'd be good if you had like the candy cane, and then somebody takes like a cigar cutter and clips the curled end of the candy cane off and lights it. That would be funny. Mm-hmm. It's a good classic gag.
I like that. It's good. Think of the noir episode as I go through the next characters, Charlie. That's your job.
Okay.
Then we have Box Burns. Boxer. He's a boxer dog. He's Flap's best friend. So Flap and Box. Box is the second half of that. He's Flap's reluctant accomplice. Just kind of goes along with the schemes, but is sometimes very into it. And it can be annoyed, by Flap schemes, but he always just goes along because he doesn't want his friend to go down alone. He's got the sort of we're all in it.
Yeah, he's got the Three Musketeers.
Sort of Three Musketeers. Yeah. And he's got a love interest. He's in love with Prissy Poodle. Prissy Poodle is the hottest girl at school. She's the popular girl, above everyone else. Like like on a floating cloud. Better than everyone. She's a poodle.
Yeah, she's a poodle. Maybe she's a something. Maybe she's a doodle. But she just she tells everyone she's a poodle, but in actuality, she's a doodle. And everybody, it's like her great secret that she hides from the world. Is that
she's actually a doodle?
Yeah, that her father is one half like husky or something.
When you said doodle, I thought you meant like a drawing.
Oh no, that would be funny. That would be funny too, but I meant like the actual like a doodle, like the dog breed.
Oh, that could be good. She also secretly hates Flap for spilling water on her in first grade.
Yeah.
So,
the classic.
Little grudges.
And poodles hate water, I believe.
Yep. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They're very
Mr.
hydrophobic.
Wally Wall.
Oh, Wally
is
Wall.
A brick wall.
Ah.
He's very dull. He's a teacher who misses Flap's antics all the time because he's a brick wall.
Yeah, he's not very bright.
Not very bright, but nothing gets past him.
Nope. Maybe he his chalkboard is like a necklace he wears and he draws on it, and that's how he teaches people.
Yeah, he just draws on himself.
Yeah.
Kids are constantly like Flap and Box are constantly tagging the back of him, spray painting stuff on him.
And maybe he writes things upside down because to him it looks right side up because he's looking down, but it's all upside down, and people just you look at their notes one day and all the notes are upside down. They're like, I'm not learning anything. I don't know what this is.
Yeah, that's fun. Next we have Mrs. Christina Chip. She's the principal of the school. She's a potato chip. Hates children, germ freak.
Of course.
Very corrupt. I don't know why I put very corrupt, but she is corrupt.
She's constantly getting bribes. Yeah, she's receiving bribes and, hiding. She's planting drugs on students, that sort of a thing. Really corrupt.
Really corrupt.
Maybe.
Next we have. What are you saying?
I was like, maybe she is planting something on the students. Maybe she's planting catnip, on the students. That could be an episode. Is she so corrupt? She's planting catnip on these students to get them,
why?
Hauled off to detention because her the school's detention numbers are low. The quota is low, and they need to raise the quota. And she's like, okay, well, here's how we're doing it, And she just taps a little bit of catnip into everybody's lunches while they're at recess.
Yeah, and catnip's like a drug.
Yeah, well, everyone's an animal, so I figure it makes the cats go crazy.
Yeah, well, they treat it like it's a drug.
Yeah.
Next, we have Mr. Vlad Vulture. Vlad Vulture is like the teacher in what's the Fairly Odd Parents? I can't remember that guy's name.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. The one who's got an ear on his neck.
Yeah, that dude. It's the Vlad Vulture's like that. He's a science teacher and he's always trying to get Flap and Box suspended. That's like his goal in life.
Okay.
He hates them.
Who wouldn't? They sound
wouldn't?
insufferable.
Next, we have Mr. Jerry Jost. Jerry Jost is a ghost. He's an old man who haunts the house next to Flap. He gives him advice from time to time. Because, we'll have an episode where Flap and Box go over there to, so we're going to stay at the haunted house, and they get scared by the ghost, and the ghost is just like a dude who's just, lives there.
Yeah.
He's like an older guy, kind of hippie-like, always, I was going to say always smoking, but I guess he can't, but he's a
Maybe the room is really hazy. And it's
it's sort of implied that he's high is what I'm going for.
Exactly, but then we can subvert the expectation and just put a smoke machine in the corner. Why is it so hazy in here? I'm a ghost. I can't turn off the smoke machine. I'm intangible. So that's just been going for a couple of years now. Can't do anything about it.
Kind of like it though,
Yeah, it's good.
Builds the mood a little bit.
I like the vibe. Bro.
Yeah.
I was just thinking
saying?
about the ghost guy. We could do a lot with his intangibility. He can't touch anything. So maybe he lives in the attic, and he there's a TV up there, but it's stuck on one channel, and so he's just always watching that channel, and he can't change it because he can't touch anything. So he's just stuck watching this universe's version of Ellen, which is I don't know what a stork, or heron. One of those big goofy mouthed birds, just having kids
just
on
interviewing.
Yeah. Children and
interviewing kids that are going to their families.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I also think we could have one episode, which would be fun, where a family moves into his house, into the ghost's house, and it Jack and Box are just kind of off to the side. They're kind of supplementary characters for this episode, and it's just about this family that's being haunted by this ghost who's haunting them by accident. And Jack and Box just go up and they talk with him. They've got a can that they throw, with a string attached, like kids do in cartoons. And they're just constantly talking with him, and slowly but surely drives this family insane until they leave. But in a fun, kid-friendly way.
Yeah.
It's not like they're clawing their eyeballs out by the end of the show. Maybe that could be the Halloween episode.
Next character we got is Frank Fox. Frank Fox is Flap's bully, always seemingly trying to kill him or embarrass him. There's an element of predator versus prey sort of in it. Because he's a fox. And
he's a fox. He's a hare. Yeah, but there's a dog in the middle, and the dog's I'll fuck you up. And the fox is
Fox, man.
Yeah, no, you won't.
All right, come at me. And the last character I got here is Balloon Joe. Balloon Joe is the coolest guy in school. He's usually very chill and party-oriented, but sometimes he's full of hot air. Haha, get it?
That's funny. That's classic. He had too much coffee this morning. The steam from the coffee filled him up with hot air. Oh.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be friends with Balloon Joe.
Yeah, who doesn't? Look at him. He's so cool.
Yeah, he's Balloon Joe. It's a cool name. Episodes. I know you're excited.
I am.
Flap wants to cheat on his science test.
Okay.
So, to set up, he and Box move all the desks closer so it's easier to look it over at somebody's answers. But also, because Balloon Joe is a balloon, they write on the back of him, a bunch of answers.
Yeah.
They sneakily write a bunch of answers on the back of them. And while they're setting up all this cheating, Molly Hare, Flap's younger sister, who's very smart, offers to help them because she's super smart. She already knows this stuff, but they call her a nerd, and she's upset about that. And they won't apologize. And they're like, you're just a nerd, loser. We're gonna cheat. We don't need your nerd stuff.
Yeah, we don't need to learn. We're fucking cool cheaters, bro. We cheat on things. We don't learn things.
Meanwhile, Ellie, the mom, has to work on her day off, so Muggs is tasked with watching Charlie. And she's before she goes, she's like, all right, don't take Charlie to work. You just have to call off today, okay? I don't want him playing around on a construction site. But he's not paying attention because he's watching TV. And he's like, oh, yeah, like, whatever you say, goodbye. And then then she goes off to work, and so does he with Charlie.
With Charlie. In like a baby Bjorn.
A baby Bjorn?
Yeah, one of those things. It's like the pockets that you wear, like a baby backpack, but you wear it like on the front.
Yes. Yeah, on the front, yeah. So he's got that, and he goes to work, starts working. It's going okay at first, but there's something that vaguely resembles a skateboard, like maybe like a pipe that's like, on two other pipes or something. I don't know.
A blank of wood on two pipes.
Charlie, yeah, that works. Charlie, the kid, I just realized Charlie has the same name as you. I didn't plan that.
That wasn't on purpose? Okay. I thought it was.
I named it up to someone else.
I thought you were like, let's make the dumb little baby character named after Charlie.
Nah, I was naming it after someone else.
Oh.
I just realized that it's also you. So no offense intended.
I'm crying. I'm crying.
I hope you are.
Yeah, I know
it
you
is
do.
named after you. I was just trying to be nice. I'm just bullying you.
Yeah. You calling me a nerd while you're cheating on your math test or science test?
Well, that's Molly who's getting called a nerd.
Yeah, but now I'm calling you a nerd.
Yeah, Molly.
Yeah, and I'm Charlie.
Yep. That makes sense. So Muggs, as he's watching Charlie climbs out, gets on the skateboard, and starts skateboarding around a dangerous construction site, forcing Muggs to chase after him, getting injured along the way. Silly stuff. We'll have Charlie like skateboard up a ramp, and as Muggs gets there, the ramp slams him in the face. And,
yeah.
Stumbles back, and
yeah, of course,
a lot
classic
of physical humor here.
Falls back into like somebody into the way of somebody's jackhammer. He gets jackhammered on the face. He sits back up, all his teeth, crumple out of his mouth when he smiles, because that's a classic cartoon thing. Gets up, chases, Charlie, skateboards through a busy intersection. You're right, perfectly unscathed, and then he runs. He's hit by like 3 cars, goes flying, lands in, one of those big crane things. He's caught, he's smacked like a baseball, flies, the whole 9 yards. And Charlie just winds up back at home, safe and sound.
Well,
Not yet.
So he's skateboarding around. Muggs is chasing him. The test starts, and Vlad Vulture can sense that someone's cheating. He's like sniffing around. And at first it's all like very like, oh, he's gonna get you. And then all of a sudden he starts getting panicked as it keeps going on. He's like, whoever's cheating, you need to tell me, please. And he starts yelling for them to stop, but it's too late. The ground cracks open like an earthquake, and a giant paper man called Mr. Testy comes out with an army of quiz knights. They start a trial to find out who is cheating on the test. Very easily they find out it's Box and Hare.
Yeah, of course.
And they're pronounced guilty for cheating.
You do know a testy is an anatomical name, right?
That's the joke, Charlie.
Okay, good. I'm just making you didn't know that my name was the same as Charlie's name. I just wanted to double check.
That's the joke. I might have to change that, but for here, it's
no,
the joke.
Yeah, it's for here. Listen, I've seen some of the Amazing World of Gumball. There is a blowjob joke in Gumball. Like, you can get away with a lot on kids' cartoons. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, you just kids just don't realize. You just have it.
Yeah.
So they start a trial. They find Box and Hare guilty of cheating, and they're sentenced to a trial by combat. Mm-hmm. And they have to fight quizzes, which ask them questions, and if they get that wrong, they get stronger. So like the questions for the test are being asked by the quizzes as they're fighting them with like paper swords and penciled spears and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's all very school-themed weapons. Mm-hmm. And it's going really poorly. The quizzes are getting bigger and stronger, and they're just, absolutely wrecking Flap and Box.
Yeah.
That's when Molly Hare comes in, because the period ended, and she's coming in because it's her next classroom, right? And Molly comes in, sees her brother getting, absolutely destroyed, and she's like, nope, not gonna help. And she just sort of watches and laughs at them as they're getting wrecked, and they Box and Flap are resistant to apologizing, but eventually give in.
Yeah.
And when they finally apologizes, she jumps in and starts absolutely destroying the quizzes because she knows all the answers.
She's well aware of everything that's going on. She's, doing like kung fu, like karate chopping their helmets off and, and saying the answers. And maybe the answers come up like in the 1960s Batman show. They're like, instead of an onomatopoeia, it's the answer. It's like, the solar system, the water cycle, tectonic plates, whatever. All the fun stuff. And
so she wins. And she's like, "Oh, Flap, you can't." I'm glad that we did this because the next time you'll learn not to cheat. And Flap's like, "I didn't learn that. I learned next time to cheat off of you."
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, of course I did. You fucking nerd. That's what he says, and then gets crushed by a giant. Maybe there's a war hammer that's thrown up in the air during the big winning combat finale. And then he's like, yeah, and now I learned to cheat off of you, you nerd. Haha, and he high-fives Box, and then they both get crushed under the warhammer.
Yeah.
As it falls down, and then she's just like, I cannot believe we have the same genes. It's ridiculous.
And Mr. Vulture, he's there. He wants to get them suspended, so he goes over and he's like, I finally have it. I finally get to punish you. But Mr. Testy is like, oh no, you can't. They won the trial, and there's no, double jeopardy.
Yeah.
He'll explain it legally like that, and it's like you can't punish them twice for the crime. Vulture's all sad because he can't.
Darn.
He's legally restricted.
Yeah.
In this situation. Back at home, Muggs catches Charlie just as Ellie gets home.
Of course.
He's chased him across the entire town.
Yeah.
Skateboarding and popping around and, all this stuff. And he finally gets him just as they get home.
Yeah.
And gets to pretends like, oh, no, we're all fine. And Ellie's like, what happened to you? He's like, oh, I slipped and fell. You know me,
I got in the
She's like, well, you
bathtub.
got to be careful when you're taking care of Charlie, you don't want to get him in. She's like, oh, no, don't worry. He's perfectly fine. It was just me old clumsy Muggs.
Yeah, it's me. And he's,
that's the episode.
He's covered in bumps and bruises. And maybe Charlie, we can have a final sting before the episode ends. Charlie, reveals that they were at the construction site, right? He pulls out, a jackhammer from his diaper. Because it's a cartoon and you can fit jackhammers in diapers. And he's just like, look, Mama, look what I found from today. Jackhammer. And then it's like, Muggsy! Ending. Cut. Black.
Ending.
The theme song. We'll have, who should write the theme song? Bjork.
Whoever wrote the Looney Tunes theme song.
I think that person is long dead.
Alive, yes. Anyway, episode 2, or just another episode, doesn't matter the order, I guess.
Yeah. I was thinking of the noir episode.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I have been. Well, I think that we should have a teacher that's introduced for the noir episode, right? So, or just, maybe the teacher can be there the whole time. And it's a Christmas-themed noir episode. So it's Christmas time, and this teacher is found dead. Dun dun dun. And this teacher's like a cicada person. So they find their body, and then it's like, oh my god, we have to solve the murder. And so it's Box and Flap working together. Is it Flap or is it?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Flap and Box. Flap and Box, it's all black and white, and they get there. They go into their closet, and, their individual closets, and they're like, all right, it's time to suit up. And they get, all dressed up like 1940s detectives. They've got the big hats. They've got, the pack of candy cigarettes they put in their thing. And, it turns to black and white, and they just, go around, and they're interviewing all of the various characters. We have Muggs, and he's sitting in, a dark... in the house's study, and it's dark. He's like the Godfather, and he's petting Charlie. Like, he's got the baby, he's
Yeah.
petting it, and he's, like, smoking the big peppermint, like, candy cane cigar. He chops it, he starts smoking it. He's like, oh, you come to me.
Starts smoking, a little piece gets in his throat, he starts choking. Spits it out.
You come to me on the day of my daughter's, you know, we have it, it's something unimportant. You
The
come
day
to,
of my sister's birthday.
you come to me on the day of my daughter's dance recital, and you tell me that you think I killed this man? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Come on, Dad, just tell us the truth. Okay, I killed him. Really? No, of course not. Get out of here. They, you know, they're going around, they interview all of the characters, and, you know, they pick up little clues here and there, and we find out that the cicada teacher was doing, like, all these illicit activities, you know, like smuggling, but something that you can smuggle in a kid's show. Like,
Candy.
yeah, smuggling bubble gum over the border by, like, blowing it up and blowing it up into a giant balloon, like taking one piece and blowing it into a balloon and then filling the balloon with other pieces of bubble gum, tying it off and, like, you know, sending it on its way or
posing
whatever.
it as like Balloon Joe's family or something.
Yeah, exactly. And we have all that happen, and it's like, oh, we found the murderer. It was the vulture. We found he's the one with the motive and the means. You know, he didn't like that this new cicada teacher was the most popular science professor that we had at the school. He didn't like that she was getting all the accolades and all of the students liked her and blah blah blah. And then it's revealed that she didn't actually die. She's just a cicada, so she molted. Like she you know, got out of her shell, and that's what was left.
Yeah.
And then she just, like, went home and took a nap. And he's like, I don't care if the vulture's like, I don't care if the students like me. I hate all of them. You all suck. You're all terrible.
Yeah.
And he's like, we should have known. Well, Merry Christmas to you. And they all take off their hats and throw them in the air. And, you know, pop the balloon with all the bubble gum, and it all comes tumbling down onto them. And it's a Christmas miracle. Instead of snowing white, it's snowing pink.
Damn.
Yeah. That's the...
Maybe instead of cicada, it's a caterpillar.
Yeah,
Into a butterfly.
that could be good.
Cicadas are gross.
Well, I couldn't think of
hard
any
to-
bugs that weren't cicadas that had the shells.
And then Vulture at the end, because he's a science teacher, and be like, you idiots! Like, she's not dead. She's a caterpillar. She's just a butterfly now.
Yeah, it's a
Like, what are you-
butterfly now. What are you,
She's in a
stupid?
cocoon,
Do you not learn
know?
anything from Mr. Wallywall's class? And they're like, no, everything's written upside down. What are we supposed to learn from it?
Also, you're the science teacher, so you're supposed to teach us that.
Yeah, just don't tell me what to do. You're not my boss. You're not my supervisor.
My mom.
You know, and he flies away. I would like it if the vulture, every time he exits a scene, he just, like, flies dramatically out of a window. You know? He's got these huge, giant wings that drape over him, and just, like, he unfurls them and, like, dives out of a window, and it's like, well, that was unnecessary. You know, he's just going to the bathroom. Or whatever. He just makes a big mess of everywhere all the time, because he's a vulture, and that's what they do. But, back to your episodes.
Muggs and Ellie are supposed to have a romantic night out, so Mom and Dad going out for the night, but Muggs forgot to get a babysitter. Oops. So he has to bring Charlie with him to the restaurant secretly. So he's got him, like, stuffed in his shirt, you know?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Boxer wants to ask Prissy to the dance, Prissy Poodle. But Flap thought they were gonna ditch it and go to the arcade, so we got to sort of, like, friendship versus girlfriend sort of situation.
And
here.
Box will probably do the thing where he's like, I can be in two places at once. And he's like, we'll just, I'll build a fake arcade next to the school, and I'll bring Flap there. And
Not quite, Charlie.
Oh.
We're going a little different way. During dinner, Muggs loses Charlie and panics as he has to search for him throughout the restaurant. And it's not going well, and so he recruits Molly to help, who, bikes over.
Yeah. Maybe there's a bunch
so
of
Molly's-
food that's shaped vaguely like Charlie. I think that could be funny.
So he's, constantly opening stuff.
Yeah, constantly thinking, oh no, my son
It'd be
has been
funny if he,
cooked alive.
climbs into the... Yeah, he climbs into the oven, and it opens up, and it comes like a perfect like chicken comes out. He's like, no, Charlie, no. And then he sees him like over on the side.
And he starts eating it while he's crying. He's like, "You're so delicious, Charlie. I'm sorry."
Oh, that's messed up. So Molly comes over and she starts to help search. Flap is constantly sabotaging Boxer's attempts to ask Prissy to the dance, until eventually he successfully does, but she says no. And her rejection opens up the floor, and he falls into a cell at the bottom of the earth, like near the center of the earth, where all people that get rejected go.
It's such a sad prison.
And Flap has to journey to the center of the earth to get him out before midnight. He'll be trapped there forever.
We should have like some famous historical and fictional like rejections down there. That could be funny.
Yeah, that would be good for the threats that we'll get to in a second.
Yeah.
Here. At dinner, Molly poses as a server to search around. She gets berated by her mom for slow service, and she's like running around with a big plate with a big open plate. She's got the lid for it. And during the meal, she looks up and sees him in the vent and starts shaking. And Muggs quickly distracts Ellie by saying something really romantic and holding her hands while he looks over her shoulder. He sees Charlie fall from the ceiling, and Molly catches him in like a plate. And the sound, Ellie turns around, but just at that moment, she closes the lid over the plate, like the big, like the big silver lid things they put over plates to hide Charlie. And quickly runs off to, bring the kid home. At the center of the earth, Flap finds the cell, and he has to fight an endless army of like zombie people who were also rejected but never got over it.
Yeah.
And are just down there,
just sad, and they're like,
just sad, and
I got
they're
friend
trying to claw away at
zoned.
Flap. He's trying to convince Boxer to break out. Manages to do it because he's like, well, you always got me, some sort of nice dramatic sort of like, oh, you got a friend. Or
Your
something,
friendship.
so it's okay.
Classic friendship monologue, There are a million fish in the sea. I don't like fish. I like dogs. Well, there's a million dogs in the sea. Dogs don't like the sea. What are you talking about?
Like, we could doggy paddle, but it doesn't really work out too well.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
Why are you putting so many dogs in the sea? That's... you could always find a new girlfriend. I never had one to begin with. Do you want to be one of these guys? And slowly throughout the fight, he begins to his voice kind of sounds like the voices of the zombies that are walking towards him. I'm this. Why don't girls like nice guys? I got friends. Like all that, like classic, the classic stuff, incel stuff. And so, he's
ultimately, like, Flap is about to, get murdered by these things. That's why Boxer is like, oh, wait, my friend, I gotta, get out to save my friend.
Yeah. We should come up with a G-rated version of Bros Before Hoes.
Hares before au pairs.
There we go. That's pretty good. I mean, it only works if it's a family thing, but you know what I mean.
I don't know. Au pair doesn't really work either, right?
No.
Because it's like, I don't know.
But it rhymed. It'll work for a child. A child doesn't know. Or
Hares before mares. I don't know.
Okay.
Random shit. I like au pairs better.
Yeah, friends before girlfriends. It's not a very good rhyme.
I like doing Hare and something else, because then we could have the joke after where Boxer's like, but I'm not a hare. And he's like, well, it doesn't matter. It works.
Yeah, it works. It's good. Listen, you want it to rhyme or not, okay? Hares and also you over au pairs. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah. So picky.
Okay, so then we got, they're kind of done. Molly races home on a bicycle. Muggs is delaying his wife so that Molly can get home first. They arrive home at the same time, and Ellie's confused where the babysitter is, but he's like, oh, I got Molly to do it. And she's like, oh, okay, I guess Molly's old enough to do that now. That's good.
Good, I guess. Yeah.
But then, the last second we'll have a little thing where she picks up Charlie, and she's like, burping him up and down, and then she like burps his back, and he like throws up like a chicken and all this crap, like all this food clearly from the restaurant, like a tablecloth. It's like a whole table comes out.
The waiter, maybe Molly takes a waiter's clothes. Yeah, Molly like dresses up as a waiter, takes his clothes. Meanwhile, Charlie has swallowed this entire waiter, and then he just like coughs him up. He's like, "Oh, where am I? Is that my jacket? What's going on?" All right, say thank you to the babysitter. All right, that's what Hug says. Like, yeah, this is the babysitter.
I was kidding, actually. This is the babysitter.
Yeah.
You think I would leave him alone with Molly? Molly's so irresponsible.
So irresponsible and a nerd. She's a total nerd. Am I right?
Yeah.
Ugh. Molly's just like stewing, but she's, he probably promised her like $50 in exchange. Yeah.
All right. One last episode for you. Molly makes fun of Flap and Boxer for being idiot because they're trying to go to school, but by having Jerry Ghost push them, because they're like, okay, so Jerry Ghost will get on our scooters, right, and you'll push us because you don't actually expend any energy, and so we can get to school, like it'll be so fast, you'll be like a rocket because you can move so fast.
Yeah.
And he can't touch the scooters because he's a ghost.
Yeah.
So they're like outside trying to get it to work and like trying to give him different stuff to push it, and she laughs at them as she goes to school. At school, Molly receives a test that is way harder than normal, and she fails for the first time ever. Well, everyone else absolutely does amazing.
Oh my god.
And she's like worried. She's like, why am I becoming stupid? Like, I don't understand. And that's when she gets home, Flap tells her, oh, you're reaching that age. I used to be smart like you, but my intelligence left. And he shows her all these medals and awards he used to have for being smart. He's like, yeah, I was in college last year.
Yeah. He opens up like a creepy basement door, and he's like, come with me to see our family's dark secret. They get down there, and it's just a wall of awards and pictures of him like shaking hands with the president, and all this stuff. And he's like, this was me just 12 months ago. Back, you were still alive. You were 9. I was 10, It's maybe a bit longer. We put the time frame a bit longer, but it's like, yeah.
He's 12 and she's 10, so 2-year difference.
Yeah.
I guess maybe when he was like, when he turned 10, that's when he became stupid. So she was 8, so she didn't really like realize.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll say something like that. Anyway, but Molly's like sad, and she's like, what? No, I can't become stupid. He's like, well, it just always happens. Happened to Dad. Dad was a Nobel Prize winner when he was 8 years old.
No,
now look at him.
He says he was a Nobel Prize winner. Do you mean the Nobel Prize? See, this is what I mean. This is what happens to us.
This is what happens. She's like, no, I can't. This is terrible. But she's like, she's trying to keep her intelligence any way she can. She's drinking all these energy drinks, eating weird superfoods, studying like crazy. But the slowness is starting to hit, and every morning she wakes up, she's starting to look more and more like Muggs and Flap. Like, she's getting a little bit pudgier, starting to look more like her dad. Like, she's starting to get this little punch, or haunch, or like the belly thing. That's what
a paunch.
Paunch, that's the word.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ellie is swamped at work, but has to watch Charlie as Muggs is out on a fishing trip. And it seems like it's too much to do while watching a kid, like all this busy stuff she has to do while she's got her little kid there. But then suddenly Charlie starts helping. He's like helping her, sort stuff, and she's like, oh my god, he's like a genius, just like Molly. It's like he's hitting that age, that's what she's thinking.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what we as the audience are thinking. She's not thinking that. Molly, meanwhile, hits rock bottom at home and goes to Boxer and Flap to learn how to be an idiot. And they start actually having kind of fun. Like, they're doing pranks, they're messing with Mr. Vulture, they're messing with Jerry Ghost and a bunch of other stuff. Like, she's learning how to have fun.
Yeah. Sitting there.
And at work, things are going super well until Ellie realized Charlie isn't super smart. It's just that her job looks very similar to a block game that Charlie has played a billion times. Like, you put the square peg into the square hole and stuff like that. But that isn't at all what it is. And he isn't doing it right at all. Like, it's way more complicated than that.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, he only just did, like, the first few right out of pure dumb luck. And she let him do it for hours, and now she has to redo everything.
Everything, yeah.
And comes home super late with Charlie. And when she gets there, she yells at Flap and Box and removes all the prosthetics from Molly. And that's when Molly learns it was all elaborate prank. Like, they were gluing these prosthetics on her to make her look more like
Well, she was asleep, yeah.
They made all these fake awards, and they were, like, she was feeling slower. It was just, like, all in her head, and also because of the stuff she was eating and drinking, like, they were...
Mm-hmm. They were filling with lard or whatever.
Yeah,
like
like
she wasn't...
something that makes you feel, like, really just...
Yeah,
slow and
like,
stuff. Yeah. It was all just a prank. But, you know, she kind of learned how to have fun, so she learned appreciation for them, but also she's furious at them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, maybe we can end it with, like, well, now that I know that I'm not getting dumber, I can use my prank, I can use everything you taught me and make pranks that are even better than this, you know?
yeah, and I will absolutely destroy your life now. And they're like, oh,
Oh,
no,
Christ.
what are you gonna do?
This is the monster we've created.
What have we done? All right, that's my show,
Yeah.
Flap and Box.
Flap and
It's,
Box.
you know,
I like
sort
it.
of like I was, you know, trying to create like a regular show / Amazing World of Gumball sort of thing.
Yeah, a nice family comedy sitcom thing. You know, there's maybe a few adult jokes in it, but it's pretty much just for kids. You know, the kids enjoy it and they like it. Yeah, I like it. I think it's good. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably have one celebrity voice. Who will the celebrity voice be?
The celebrity voice is Charlie Sheen. He plays
Charlie, the baby.
dad,
Oh,
Bugs.
I was gonna have him play the baby, because I think it'd be funny if we got a celebrity voice just to be like, yeah,
The baby, yeah.
yeah,
That's what I was thinking, but I was thinking we shouldn't have a baby.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
just
we-
waste the
on
the,
Charlie
the
Sheen.
talent of the baby. I don't know. I was just saying something random. Oh, we'd probably have a comedian play
Yeah,
Muggs.
we'll get someone good. We'll get John Mulaney.
Yeah, John Mulaney will be Muggs.
Yeah, and I'll play the baby, and you'll
play
play Box.
Boxer.
Yeah.
Box. His name's Box. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's fun. Good times.
Good times. Fun show. I
Actually, I
enjoyed
don't
it.
want to box. That's a lot of work. I got a lot of lines. The show's half me. I'll be like Balloon Joe or something.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm not cool enough for Balloon Joe. I'll be Jerry Ghost.
Yeah, you could be
Ghost.
Jerry Ghost, or you could be the Vulture teacher.
Nah, see, he's too important in this show. We got to be people that aren't like important. Maybe Mr. Wall. I'll be Mr.
Oh,
Wall.
Mr. Wally Wall. Yeah, I
You're
like it.
dull. I can do a dull voice.
Hey,
It's like what I'm doing right now, honestly.
yeah, hey you guys. Stop riding on my back.
Oh.
Cut it out.
Well, thanks for watching or listening to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast.
I've been your host, Charles, along with him as always has been my co-host, our producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, orator, and podcasting associate, Jacob Gloth. If you like what you heard here and you want to hear more, please give us a like, a follow, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, tell your cat, and don't forget, we will be here next week with a brand new televisual series for you to imagine and expect on your TV sets within the next 6 months, because
Yep,
Hollywood.
because we're scabbing, boys.
Yeah.
We're putting it out there.
Yeah, we are.
If you want it, take it.
If you
Don't
want
do
to come,
Fuck,
give
yeah.
us some money. It doesn't even have to be a lot of money. Honestly, it doesn't need to be money. It
10
could
bucks.
be like
It's yours.
$10. Yeah,
Yep, $10.
$10.
$10 each. That's how we get them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
Maybe some like Walmart gift cards or something. You know.
Yeah. Can I get a Coca-Cola and a glass bottle? That's what I want.
The best kind of Coca-Colas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone, and
Some real cocaine in it.
with real cocaine, that's probably worth more
Yeah,
than $10.
It's like it used to be, right?
Yeah. It was back in the day.
No, I probably can't get that. But fake cocaine in it.
Yeah.
Like baking powder or something.
Fake cocaine, aka fentanyl.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you everyone, and have a good week.
Yep. Goodbye.